Well, join me now live in the studio to discuss extensively on the importance of credit to supporting the economy and, of course, what CreditRegistry stands for. I have the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, CreditRegistry, Jameelah Ayedun. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's really great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, taking a cue from your event, CreditRegistry 17, so next year you'll be 18, adulthood. Now, what plans do you have for your bureau as you move to 18 years?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having us here today to speak with you. And I can tell you, we are just like a 17-year-old. We're so excited we have big eyes, we have big goals. We believe that the world is in front of us and that we haven't honestly even began when we think about all the possibilities that are in front of us and able to accomplish and be able to go after. I'm wearing a little bumblebee here today, and it's very synonymous of how we feel, right? There's this saying that says that the wings of a bumblebee aren't scientifically capable of holding it up. The only thing is that the bee doesn't know that. The bee believes that it can fly, and so it can fly. And so that's the way we are. We believe in what we do, and we believe that it can make an impact, and so that's why we're going to continue to do even more. Impact,
Nigeria's largest credit bureau. That's really big. Tell us more about CreditRegistry, what you do, what you stand for.
Yeah, that's a huge one. I mean, being Nigeria's largest credit bureau and practically even maybe the largest in West Africa is not something that happened overnight. We're the pioneer in the industry. We're the foremost leader when it comes to credit reporting. But really, I'd like to tell you who CreditRegistry really is. It all started with the experience of our founder back in the 1990s when he was in college in the United States. Coming from Nigeria, he realized around him the level of affluence that he saw with other students. They have their own apartments, they have their own cars, and he was just not able to understand how is that even possible. Where in Nigeria, if you ever wanted anything, you had to save for it. And one day while in school, he was able to get credit. And it was just a $500 Chase credit card. And he was just blown away, like, how is that even possible? But he used it. He used the money and he paid here and there, but never really paid the balance off, not knowing the overall impact of it. But once he graduated, he decided to get his own apartment and he wanted to furnish it. He went to a furniture store and they offered him credit. He applied.
Sounds interesting.
And was declined, the credits.
Wow.
So Chase had actually reported him to a credit bureau, indicating that he still had a balance that had not been paid. Well, that dawned on him that was very instructive to say that that's why everybody around them was so affluent. They were able to get access to credit. That's why they're able to buy their homes and go to school and get cars now. But the only reason that was possible was because lenders had confidence in giving that credit.
I tell you, that's important because the money must come back.
Yes, they were able to report if money is being given out as well as if money is not being paid as when due. That allows for them to get their money back. So,
Let's now look at what Nigerians need to know about creditworthiness and how does the awareness of CreditRegistry, how has it affected the entire industry?
Yeah, one thing that is important for us is that we want everyone to know that credit is a lifelong journey. It doesn't just start and immediately you get everything you want. You have to start in baby steps. So just like you get your first job, you have to start somewhere. And then you grow and you begin to now eventually own your own companies. Credit is the same way. And if you also think about it, everybody needs credit. Studies have been done, even with the FINA here, that says that those that are getting access to credit, over 70% of them are getting access from family and friends. Access from family and friends. That tells you, at least it tells us, that there's a huge opportunity to be able to give credit from the formal financial sector that is not yet being fully capitalized or materialized. And so what CreditRegistry does is open up that window of opportunity. And I'm going to tell you why that is so important. I'm the firstborn of 3. I went off to college. I was able to get, of course, scholarships, but I also was able to get some school loans. I graduated with my engineering degree. I went on, I got my home. My sister and brother also went to college, and I'm not from a very wealthy family at all. Very loving family, but not very wealthy. But them also being able to get access to credit. They're both doctors today.
Wow.
They own their own homes, they have children, and all of it was really built off of the fact that there's access to credit. When I see in Nigeria that the majority, 70% or more, are getting it from family and friends, that means that we're limiting our future and our success based on the wealth of our existing family and friends. If that were my journey, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have today. So when we say credit is good, credit is actually cool. It does open up opportunities and makes you believe and be able to go after the things you want to go after.
I think I need to get credit now. I need to get credit to fix. I'm thinking of fixing so many things, house, car, and everything. I think I need a new car.
Live life today.
Now, have you ever ordered your own credit report? And if you did, what compelled you to do so?
Yes, I did actually. I've been working since I was about, say, 15, 16 years old. And my mother had never owned her own home personally. She's always either been with her husband or with her mom. And when I turned 19, I got my first real job. I'm saying real because it was with General Motors, and I was earning a pretty decent income, even at the age of 19. So I wanted to get my mom her home. And so I was able to apply for a small amount of credit. It was an old home, so it didn't cost a lot, but it was enough that I could afford. And so I was instructed to get my credit report, and since I hadn't really had credit before, it wasn't much on there. Yeah. But the loan was just small enough, my income was good enough, and I was able to apply for credit and get my mother her first home. She's still in that home today. And of course, she's built it up and made it even a beautiful family home today. And so I certainly encourage everyone to take those first steps. I think that the market has certainly grown to a point where it can accommodate more and more people, the consumers, the everyday people, to get access to credit. Nigeria has been identified as 6th in the world when it comes to access to credit through the ease of doing business and all the reforms around that. Get your credit report. You can get it directly from CreditRegistry.ng, or you can even go to reportgov.ng, and there's a link in a portal there for you to be able to order your credit report. Know what lenders know about you, and then be able to start your journey for your financial future, just like I did at the age of 19.
Indeed, very interesting story. Now, I want to know how Credit Registry has fared. Have you lived up to expectations in your thoughts?
Our expectations are huge, are really out there. We use this slogan called Connect, Trust, Empower. And when we think of that, that means we have really a long ways to go, right? Our job is to have lenders be connected to you, to the public, so that they can trust you and then eventually empower you to do the things that you want to do. And so when we say connect, trust, empower, that means a lot to us. Now, we started day one in this industry, and honestly, as the pioneer, I do certainly admire so many of the companies that have led in that aspect of it. When we started, there was no unique identifier. The internet activity was very limited. Lenders, there were 89 of them on ground. The surge of non-performing loans was at an all-time high, and we came in, of course, not realizing that our wings weren't meant to hold us up, but we were actually able to move forward. On day one, we were able to get 60,000 records uploaded to the Bureau. That's 60,000 individuals and businesses' credit histories onto the Bureau. Wow. Today, we have grown it to over 60 million.
Wow, 60 million?
60 million. And that is not without honestly, the impacts of so many. We have a shareholder body of about 150 who have been patient, have given patient capital to allow for this to be established in this country. It has even brought the likes of, competitive landscape, which I think is always good. I'm a consumer first. I want the best prices based on competitive environment. But it also got the regulator to even see that this is something that was needed. So while we started in 2003, the central bank actually recognized the industry and licensed the industry in 2008. So that was another huge I think, leap for our industry.
Of course.
And then with the likes of the active law now allowing for credit reporting to be officially a part of this industry through the administration in 2017. So I say the credit registry has certainly seen beyond what it was even expecting to make that big of an impact, but we still have yet to see where we really want to go. Until every Nigerian who needs credit can get credit at affordable rates to improve their standards of living, we still have work to do.
Affordable rates. That's
Affordable
really
rates.
very important.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants credit, but at that rate is something that is also important. Let's run it up this way. What's the secret to championing the industry for over 17 years? I read about you and I saw that you guys are really doing well.
I can say that our secret, honestly, is actually quite simple. We focus on our customer and we focus on innovation. There's no such thing as no when it comes to what we're doing. If it doesn't exist, either we develop it and make it happen, or we empower others to be able to make it happen or influence others. A perfect example, focusing on the customers and innovation. When we started our business, there was no unique identifier. We're the first credit bureau in the world that developed a biometric technology inside the credit bureau system to be able to uniquely identify every consumer that was getting access to credit. Now that is a huge endeavor to take on, so we were able to work and influence the government to kind of take on that responsibility just because of how massive it is. And with that, today we have the likes of the BVN with other amazing parties that were involved, our competitors, everything. We got together to be able to make sure that that works in the credit bureau system today, and we're glad to be able to do that. So our success, honestly, it comes from focusing on the needs of our customers and innovating when we need to in order to make things happen.
I like a little bit of that. Chief Executive Officer, Managing Director, Credit Registry, Jameelah Ayedun. Thank you very much. Nigeria's largest credit bureau, let me add that. It's really interesting having you on the show. We know we'll have you again to talk more on this. I see that passion when you're talking about credit and how to make it affordable. I'll say that again. Thank you very much for your time on Business
Nigeria.
Thank you so much as well.